Now, last week's episode of King Ohja was the body swap episode, where our heroes swapped bodies with each other, and it ended on a cliffhanger where the retainers were attacking our kings. And this episode picks up where that cliffhanger left off on, and apparently it was the pink villain, the girl one, Hilby, whatever her name is. She was the one that made everyone attack the kings, but we get a glimpse of her power, and once again, this is another space insect with a terrifying power scale where if she touches you, then you have to sort of obey her commands. And we see that power to its extent in this episode where she gets into a fight with Jeremy, and then Jeremy's unable to attack her. But she's the whole reason why the retainers started attacking our kings. But not only that, she made all the citizens from all the different countries start attacking each other and started causing a riot. Well, not the citizens, you can sort of say the lower retainers that we see in the episodes, and they start going all out, and they start attacking everyone and putting like different characters in jail with everything going on. Now, the whole reason why they did this is because all the kings get knocked unconscious from their attack, all of them except for Jeremy, who comes face to face with Hilby, and you kind of have this episode being a big Jeremy moment because of all the countries sort of attacking each other. They need a way to sort of calm it down, and the kings come to this conclusion and this plan is something that they do in this episode, because the first half of this episode is sort of finding out why the retainers started attacking the kings, and then you see the riots happening, and then Jeremy interacting with Hilby in this episode. And then the last half of this episode is this emotional gut punch Jeremy moment in the episode. But I'll get to the Jeremy bit in a bit, because the king's plan to sort of mitigate the whole retainers attacking the kings and all the riots going on, what their plan is they tell the people, or their plan is to tell the citizens of Terra, of the earth, is that the kings got greedy and they got out of control, and the retainers stepped in to stop them. And their plan was to basically step down from being kings, and I thought, oh, this is going in an interesting direction, as everyone going to step down from being kings, and then they're going to go off and have space adventures, and they're going to have like these big galactic battles against these space bugs. But that wasn't the case. So they were going to step down from being kings, and then the retainers would be viewed as heroes because they tried to stop sort of like the mutiny and the sort of corruption of the kings. But before they sort of make their big reveal and they sort of step down from being kings, Jeremy comes in and he sort of plays the villain part up again and says, I was the villain all along. It was me, Dio. It was me, Jeremy. I was the one pulling the strings with everything going on. So I was the one that caused everyone to attack each other. I was the one doing it the whole time. And this causes everyone to hate Jeremy. And Jeremy says, strike me down, King Ohjas, because you'll have to defeat me because I'm the villain. And this is such a powerful Jeremy scene, because Jeremy, ever since we've met him, he wants peace and unity amongst the Bugnarok and the people. He wants both races to live in harmony. But by doing this, he's viewing himself as the villain. He's viewing the Bugnarok as the villains because he's the king of the Bugnaroks. He's the king of the in-between. And all the characters point that out to him, saying, hey, if you do this, everything you've worked for is going to be for nothing. But Jeremy says, well, that can't really matter, because if we don't defeat these galactic insects, then basically what I've worked for will be for nothing, because the Earth will be destroyed. And he says, we can't think about the present, we have to think about the future. So Jeremy essentially fakes his death, and everyone else is viewed as the heroes, so that way they don't have to step down from being a king, or kings. And I feel like in this episode, I thought Jeremy was essentially faking his death, so that way the actor can sort of step away and do his own thing, sort of like what they did in Revice with, what's his name, who was Demons. I thought that was going to be the case in the episode, but that wasn't it. Like, that wasn't it at all, because Jeremy's like essentially hanging out with the King Ohjas in the next episode, so he's not faking his death in the end, unfortunately. Well, he's not stepping away from the show. He faked his death to like the people, but he's still around on the show, so I thought he would be stepping away from like the show for a little bit, because he was going to go on his own journey to sort of find a way to defeat the galactic insects, but that wasn't the case. So Jeremy fakes his death, and then Hilby comes in and starts sort of mocking everything going on, and all the characters start applauding, because while she's making this speech, you see Jeremy sort of being on the monitors, and they sort of have this memorial for him where we flash back and they sort of make it seem like that Jeremy actually died, so they sort of have this like memorial to show how much of a good person he was, with sort of his goals and plans in the nearby future with the whole piece but towards the Bugnarok. So they start clapping, and when they stop, Hilby, whatever her name is, thanks like the King Oja, saying, "Oh, is that for me?" And they say, "That wasn't for you." And then Gira transforms, he morphs, he strikes his sword, knocks her down through the freaking castle, and then they jump down and they start fighting away from the CGI background, and we get a really cool fight between the freaking villain and the King Oja's. Really great fight, really good choreography as they go all out, but unfortunately they're not able to defeat her. And I get the feeling that we're just going to sort of see everyone's powers of what they can do within the next couple of episodes, because we've seen the extent of their powers and how powerful these villains are, because they're very playful, they view everything as a game, and they're just sort of doing this for funsies, and with powers like these, they are super threatening. But this episode, I feel like, was really freaking fantastic, especially when the Jeremy scene came in, and Jeremy started making his big speech. That's when I really enjoyed the episode. But again, King Oja, another banger, really freaking good. Almost on 30 episodes, which is crazy. And we already got the announcement for the next Sentai team, Sentai series, which is crazy within itself because it's that time of the year again. But yeah, another solid episode of King Oja, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Next month in October, things are going to get even more crazy as we get the return of Daigo, or King, from Kyoryuger, so I'm excited for that. But anyways, another solid episode of King Oja. I'm excited to see where the Jeremy stuff is going to go now that he's faked his death, and I want to see where that's going to resolve itself when the show ends. But anyway guys, that was my review, recap, rumblings of King Oja episode 29. What did you guys think of the episode? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day or night. I'll see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye.